keeps us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
My internet went down for like a second there, so I'm just making sure I'm live. Okay, I haven't done any sharing yet, so just get started a little bit later, a little bit seconds later. All right. All right, got that part done. Okay. I wonder if Restream, the people at Restream think I'm crazy. Well, I get notices from them. You stream more than a certain percentage of other people, but I have like minimal watchers. It's like, why does this guy keep doing it? Why does he keep going live more than most of the people, but yet he doesn't have many listeners? Just the way it is. So, welcome. Looks like we got some people showing up. Good stuff. Today, I'm going to be reading out of the 12 by 12, page 100. That's always a good number. 100. That's a good number. Let's see. Page 100. Ooh, step 11. How fun. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. See, my conscious contact with God always moves forward, right? Because when God's involved, it'll always move forward. My relationship with God doesn't deter, it doesn't go away. As long as I maintain that relationship, right? So we're maintaining a relationship there, but that's not the actual topic. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. We are going to be talking about imagination can be constructive, right? Where our imaginations used to be destructive, most likely. And the thing is we in addiction are very imaginative people. We come up with great ways to be able to help other people out, right? I was just talking to my friend Andrea. She's not in AA, so she's my other host for Understanding Fentanyl. Greatly, I love Andrea. She's like a sister to me, man. From the moment we started talking, it was like I just felt comfortable with her. I don't get that way with a lot of people. Anyway, so she was having this big meeting, and somebody had come along that was a part of the meeting that she had invited, and they were very drunk, just showing up. And then they started drinking. You know how it is when you're an alcoholic and somebody is paying the tab, right? See, with that, and she did it the way that she needed to, but I gave her some advice, Next time, if that ever happens again, if that ever happens to you, all you need to do is go to the bartender and say, stop serving them or I will call the police, because they're not supposed to be served. If somebody comes into your bar inebriated, by law, you are not supposed to serve them, and they're liable for that. So go put liability on them, make people accountable, make those people accountable. Those are the things that we think we can't change that we actually can. Let's start at the bottom of page 99. Right after the 11th step prayer, which I really need to memorize. All right. As beginners in meditation, we might now reread this prayer several times slowly. Let's do the prayer. I want to go back more. So, Lord, make me a channel of thy peace, that where there is hatred, I may bring love. That where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness. That where there is discord, I may bring harmony. That where there is error, I may bring truth. That where there is doubt, I may bring faith. That where there is despair, I may bring hope. And that where there are shadows, I may bring light. That where there is sadness, I may bring joy. Lord, grant that I may seek rather to comfort than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to love than to be loved. For it is by self-forgetting that one finds. It is by forgiving that one is forgiven. It is by dying that one awakens to eternal life. What a neat thing to read when you've been in the program for a little while and you go through it and be like, do I really do all this stuff? Yes, you do. You do. Isn't that? It makes me feel great because I'm going through this, because we go back and we're going to compare. Of course, I'm going to compare it to my old self. You mean I actually get to bring light where there's darkness? That gift right there makes me want to weep. It does, because I know what it's like to sit in the dark all alone. All right. As beginners in meditation, we might now reread this prayer several times, very slowly, savoring every word and trying to take the deep meaning of each phrase and idea. It will help if we can drop all resistance to what our friend says. For in meditation, debate has no place. We rest quietly with the thoughts of someone who knows, so that we may experience and learn. All right. It's tough for me to meditate. It's hard for me to sit still in one place for that long. Okay. So you can do this a couple of different ways if you want to, right? I tend to do something that doesn't require my brain. Okay. Quite often I use video games. I play a lot of hack and slash. I've been playing them so long, it's just second nature to me. And what it does is it allows my brain to just shut up, going for a walk, doing chores. Okay. That helps me meditate. Mowing the lawn. It helps me meditate. I don't really need to think about mowing the lawn. I've done it plenty of times. Doing the dishes. I don't need to think about that. So there's different ways that you can do it. You're not just like your higher power. You're not restricted to something. This is your relationship with God, not mine. It's yours. Be personal about it, man. Be personal. God loves you. As though lying upon a sunlit beach, let us relax and breathe deeply in the spiritual atmosphere with which the grace of this prayer surrounds us. Let us become willing to partake and be strengthened and lifted up by the sheer spiritual power, beauty, and love of which these magnificent words are the carriers. Let us look now upon the sea and ponder what its mystery is, and let us lift our eyes to the far horizon, beyond which will we see all the wonders still unseen. Have you ever just been sitting there and everything's just okay? Yeah. My backyard is kind of a busy place. The highway isn't very far. I got animals. There's lots of noises. But I can sit back there in silence. Shucks, says somebody, that is nonsense. It isn't practical. Now we're getting to where the reading is this. So when such thoughts break in, we might recall a little ruefully. Ruefully means, how much store we used to set my imagination as it tried to create realities out of bottles. And that was my problem. See, what my imagination started to do instead was create problems. Problems that did not exist. When I got in here and got down to the 4-step, I found that like 40% of my problems just didn't exist. I made them up. The other 60%, I was able to right size. See, they were too big. I made them too big to handle. That was on me. I just made them too big for anybody to handle, except God. Okay. Now, you get to use this imagination, but just like everything else, okay, this may sound a little extreme. Manipulation is not always bad. Manipulation is not always bad. If I tell you what I'm doing and you accept it, it's still manipulation. Okay. I know that's kind of towing a line, but I'm just trying to get you to think about how just because something is a word doesn't mean it's bad. Is getting angry bad? No, it's a human emotion. It's what I do with my anger. See, and I used to take that imagination and create bad things in life, right? No, no biggie, no biggie. We just got to the heart of it anyway, so you're all good. And I love you. All right. But our imaginations can also do the opposite, right? This comes back to me anyway. Am I causing more confusion than harmony? What are my intentions? Yes, we reveled in the sort of thinking, didn't we? And those sober nowadays, don't we often try to do much the same thing? Perhaps our trouble was not that we used our imagination. Perhaps the real trouble was our almost total liability to the point imagination toward the right objectives. It's the right objectives. I have an imagination. I imagine what trudging together can be, and I aim for that. Okay. Is it going to be that? I have no idea. Probably not. It's probably going to be better than I imagined. But my imagination, okay, my imagination started the Daily Trudge. My imagination started the podcasting. Because my will is in line with God's, it works out just fine. Absolutely. Yeah, I figured you'd have some things to say on this. Imagination is constructive in my case. Creative imagination is one of my AA concepts. Yes, we need it. I know I do. That's why I play video games. I need it. I need to create something. I have to have something else. My eldest tells me I'm autistic and masking, but I prefer creative imagination. Yeah, I think I'm having a hard time because suddenly everybody's autistic. There's nothing the matter with constructive imagination. All sound achievement rests upon it. So I'm going to bring one other thing up here. Okay. And I'm doing this because of Ingrid's son. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. D&D is one of the most constructive, imaginative games in the world. It teaches you so much. It teaches you how to get along with other people, how to create things, so many things. And that's why I love it. I love video games that allow me to build characters, right? I like to go through the maps. These are just things that I like for my imagination. I like getting sucked into it. It's cool because I can leave this world for a while without getting drunk. So play D&D, man. Maybe I should start a D&D group. My initials are DM. I am DM. I am the dungeon master. I don't need any of the books. All we need is dice. Dice and a blank piece of paper. But choir is fantastic too. Because then he has a way to emotionally release. I do that. I'll put on music around here and I just sing. I sing. You know, and that tends to get me going because music impacts me a lot. So, great young man you got there, Ingrid. Good job. There's nothing the matter with constructive imagination. All sound achievement rests upon it. After all, no man can build a house until he first envisions a plan for it. Well, meditation is like that too. It helps us envision our spiritual objectives before we try and move forward. So let's get back to that sunlit beach or to the plains or to the mountains, if you prefer. All right. So our imaginations, just like everything else, just needs to be, it's the proper use of the will, man. That's all most of this comes down to. Is just doing the right thing, right? Yeah. Well, tell him to keep it up. He's on a great road. I love it. D&D will always be there, but the chance at choir like this will never happen again. So, yeah, love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You know, we had Ingrid and then we had a quiet one, which is absolutely fine. You're not required to say anything here. So, thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. I really do. Peace out. And